Hey guys, Unification here, and today I'll be analyzing the Kingdom Hearts 3 E3 2015 gameplay trailer. So the trailer starts off with young Ericus and young Xehanort talking about the Keyblade War. Now, this is the same conversation we saw back when Kingdom Hearts was shown at E3 last year. At the end of the 2.5 remixed E3 trailer, they showed this dialogue, but it was just a black screen. And this, the actual cutscene now adds a lot more to it. So let's take a listen and see what they say.
Ancient Keyblade War. Yeah, the Master's favorite story. So, you know the Lost Masters?
Okay, right there. So we hear young Xehanort say they're the ones who started the Keyblade War. So now we can confirm that the Lost Masters are tied to the Foretellers and Kingdom Hearts Key. So now let's continue on.
They're the ones who started the Keyblade War. Never heard of them.
Okay, so once again, Xehanort knows that young Ericus knows about this. Now we don't know how young Ericus knows about this, but apparently he does. So the Lost Masters, they haven't really ever been talked about in Kingdom Hearts, so no one really knows what the Lost Masters are, but apparently Xehanort does, and now Xehanort is insisting that Ericus does. So let's continue on again with the trailer.
You can drop the facade.
So right off the bat, we can once again see gameplay now. Now we haven't seen much gameplay before. We saw a little bit of a snippet in the D23 2013 trailer. It showed attraction flow and a small bit of combat, but now we're seeing more, and it looks like flow motion is back, just judging from the way Sora climbs the wall and the way he jumps across these pillars. And later on, you'll see again that Sora jumps off a wall and does like a dive like he did, like you were able to do in Dream Drop Distance. Okay, so once again, now you saw in the gameplay, we saw Sora kind of like side strafing and using fire. We also saw him kind of doing a few different jump moves, and then we saw him scaling the wall like very quickly. So there is some sort of advanced movement back in the game, and there is kind of more refined combat. It definitely looks like a more refined version of Kingdom Hearts 2's combat. Okay, so now we can see Sora jump off a cliff, and we see this massive overlay. And from this we can tell that load screens, I think this is hinting that load screens are gone. Worlds are now bigger and more open, and I think that we're definitely going to see more use of like wide open areas and just less load screens. I think that load screens are going to be gone from Worlds entirely now, and I think this is just hinting at it, that they have the ability to make Worlds on a larger scale now. So here we get a glimpse of our first team attack that we see Sora and Donald and Goofy using, and this shows that it kind of looks like a Trinity limit of sorts. Maybe this is the new Trinity limit, but it doesn't look very powerful, and it's just like a little team attack. Maybe it's just with Goofy. I don't know if I could see Donald in this part, but yeah. So this definitely looks like a limit. Okay, so now we could see Sora climbing a wall and attacking this big rock heartless. And this part kind of feels like, yeah, flow motion is back. This is showing that advanced movement is back in the game. And here he kind of like goes invisible, kind of. So he kind of like disappears into a glow. And we could also see a glimpse of Sora, a new Keyblade here. And this looks a lot like the Keyblade that was leaked, except the color is blue instead of white. But Zephyr, who is a really good artist, drew this Keyblade after seeing it at the 2.5 launch event, and it looks spot on, if I do say so myself. Like, it has like the flowing kind of thing coming down from it. It looks like maybe a star or maybe a Palpo Fruit at the top. I'm not sure exactly what this Keyblade is trying to represent, but from the looks of it, I feel like it might have some connection to Aqua. It kind of definitely looks like it has some connection to Aqua, so maybe we'll see that in the future. So now we see the train again, and at this point we can tell that the traction flow is back in full force, but we don't really see how it activates. Now, the one thing that we still need to see is how do we activate this? Is this a boss event? Is this a game event? Or is this like a summon where we can activate it at any time? I think we'll have to wait and see, and I don't think there's any confirmation on that. And now, right here, we can see Sora's new outfit. Sora looks awesome. I'm kind of iffy on the new outfit. I'm sure it'll grow on me, but you can also see a few really interesting things in this shot. First of all, it's a Tangled World. Tangled World is confirmed. They kind of confirmed that before the trailer started at the E3 conference when they brought like the people from Tangled on and said, oh, you know, we're working on the game, and that is shown here in full force. This scene looks awesome. Up close, Sora looks a little like the graphics could be improved. I'm sure that will be improved, but look at the kingdom shader at work here. That looks beautiful. You could see in the distance, just it definitely looks like an animation. It looks like an animated movie at work in the game, and it just looks awesome. And Sora's new outfit, like I said, I'm a little on it right now, but I'm sure it'll grow on me. And it's just nice that we get to see Sora's new outfit finally. Okay, so big thing right here, Keyblade transformations. This is our first real gameplay of it. In the first gameplay trailer, we saw Sora using the fire guns, but here we actually see like real guns and you could actually aim with them. And then later it turns into a cannon. This looks insane. This looks really cool. It looks like a really cool gameplay aspect. And I think this, I don't know if it'll replace drive forms, but it's definitely replacing command styles. I hear a lot of rumors that drive forms will still be in the game regardless, but Keyblade transformations are definitely a cool thing, and I'm glad they're in the game. Definitely adds a bit of depth to combat, and I'm interested to see how they work in the game. And again here we get to see more combat. Sora's sliding around, he's dodge rolling. There's definitely a bit of heightened movement in the combat itself, so that's good to see. So here we see Sora using the ship again that he used in Kingdom Hearts, the original Kingdom Hearts 3 gameplay trailer at D23 2013. And so now this part definitely looks like it's kind of used as a summon. In the part with the train, it doesn't look, I'm not too sure, it doesn't really look like you could tell, but here you definitely summon the ship, and being that Sora used it in 2 different spots now, this is definitely a form of summons now. So this is a really interesting looking attack here. Sora slides in, he uses Blizzard, and then he jumps up really high in the air and uses this kind of like raining down attack of Blizzard. It looks really cool, and I'm not sure if this is a Keyblade transformation. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's gonna be interesting to see how you're gonna pull all these attacks off and how they work. So there's what I was talking about. There is flow motion. Flow motion, I think that confirms that flow motion is back. Sora dives off the wall and into an attack. I am pretty sure that signifies that flow motion is coming back in full force. So here we see another bit of an attraction flow. Here, Sora, Donald, and Goofy go into teacups, and this looks pretty interesting. Again, this is like kind of supporting the idea that these are like a form of summons, and they look like they're just going to be kind of, or maybe limits. So limits would be a better fitting term. Just attacks that do a lot of damage and use up maybe all your magic, which is kind of hard to tell because Sora's magic bar is still full there, so maybe there'll be a new kind of system, and there is the EX bar there still, so you gotta keep that in mind. We're gonna have to see what all these take into account and use each other for. So here, this is really interesting. This, it looks like at first it might be a summon, but this is a Keyblade transformation. Sora takes his Keyblade and transforms it into a Pegasus and a chariot. I don't, like, again, there's so many things that could be like summons or limits or something, and it's just gonna be weird seeing how this is all gonna pan out and how it's all gonna work. Like, they're gonna be adding either, like, this is all part of one big kind of scenario where, like, these are all limits or these are all summons, or they're adding just a ton of new battle mechanics. We'll see.
On that land shall darkness prevail and light expire. The future, it's already been written.
So, holy crap, this part, you could make so many theories about this part, it's not even funny, and I probably will make a theory on this later. Okay, this is insane. So, first thing to note, he says, it's the future. On that land shall light prevail, shall darkness prevail, and light expire. Originally, most people thought that was relating to the Keyblade War, because in Kyrie's grandmother's story, that was kind of the story, like, the darkness took over the world and then children restored it. But Xehanort is saying it's the future. And another huge, huge thing to note. The Keyblade is on a wall. There, Xehanort and Ericus' master is the one who wields that Keyblade. That tells so much. So Xehanort originally, so that there's so many things now that could connect to each other now. So originally, okay, I'm gonna just sit here for a minute. Originally, a lot of people thought, okay, Xehanort must have went back in time somehow to get that Keyblade if it was relating to the Keyblade War. But no, you could tell that these guys are in the Land of Departure. It definitely looks like the Land of Departure. But this is definitely, it takes place I would say a few dozen years before the events of Birth by Sleep. That Keyblade is on a wall. That means either that is displayed there, or their master owns that Keyblade, because that Keyblade is a will that is passed down. That has been said, that Keyblade is passed down. So Xehanort either takes that somehow by force off the wall because it's on display for whatever reason. It's known that it's a very powerful Keyblade, so maybe it's there to be preserved. Or Xehanort and Ericus' master has a connection to the Foretellers, and that Keyblade is passed on to him. So that just, there's so many things here that could be interpreted, and the fact that he says it's the future, that tells that it is not the Keyblade War. It is coming. It is either the events of Birth by Sleep he's relating to, or events that we have yet to see in Kingdom Hearts 3 rather. So there's a lot of things that we have to wait and see, and a lot of things that are going to be insane. So yeah, moving on.
Who's to say I can't change it? And maybe light will prevail. There's more.
Okay, so now Ericus is saying maybe we can't change it, and maybe light will prevail. And that begs a question that relates back to something else. Now, there's a lot of kind of theory involved in this analysis here, but there is a lot, like, Xehanort says that he kind of like hints that it's like you can't change the future, but if you think about the Foreteller script, which is a concept in Kingdom Hearts Key, and the fact that in the secret movie for Recoded, spoiler alert, Maleficent says that she wants to get her hands on the Foreteller script to change the fate of the future. So the Foreteller script in Key can have some connection to changing events. So I think that's going to play a role in this game.
Light that meets the eye. You might be surprised.
And here's our first glimpse at young Ericus. And our first glimpse at a really young Master Xehanort. Now, a lot of people are saying that they would be teens. These guys look like younger teens. This kind of looks like Xehanort even before Dream Drop Distance, or maybe that's just like the graphics playing on my eyes, but I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens, because Xehanort is talking like he already experienced a lot of events. So maybe this is after Dream Drop Distance. I have no idea.
I hope so.
And I hope you guys enjoyed my analysis. Thanks for checking out my video and my channel, and I hope to see you next time. Notification out. Peace.